What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. It is the first one after the window has ended, but we are here. Of course, you can see from the title, Adam Wharton has been withdrawn from the England squad, so we'll be discussing that. However, every Tuesday, as it's going to be a bit slow, I think we've got a bit of time. We've got a bit of time to look at our loanees who have been performing well, and we've got Patrick here every Tuesday. Towards the end of the show, we'll be discussing that, and trust me, there's a few players. Well, not a few. There's quite a few. There's quite a lot. To be truthful, to be discussing. As always, even if you're watching this on replay, people, please hit the like button, get involved by leaving down your thoughts in the live comment section. Patrick, as this is the first Palace news since the window's ended, how does it feel with no rumours? I guess there will be no rumours for this month and next month. Then the focus is on winter window.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
International break as well, may I add. International break as well. Like, this is probably like the quietest time you would get with Palace.
Yeah, I'm good. I told you I hate, like last night, I hate the transfer window. I'm glad it's shut. Hate rumors, can't stand it, and I have no problem with the break because it allows us integrate some of our newer players into the squad. Some players get rest. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. So I've got no problem. So we're good.
Yeah, we are good. We are good. Big up to Callum. Big up to every single one of you that's showing us live. But yeah. Let's talk about Adam Wharton and the latest Palace news. We'll still be here, as I've mentioned as well, quite a few times during the transfer window. Palace news won't stop. Of course, we're not going to probably force a show if there's no news like there wasn't yesterday. There was player ratings out. You know, there'll still be content there. But today there is actual news. So you know, we'll be discussing that. And I believe Steve Parish has actually spoke to Sky Sports about Gay. So we'll quickly give a mention to that before we move on to our loanees. Let's start off with the big news, and that is QPR game will be on Tuesday 17th. Now, all jokes aside, Patrick will be going to that, but that's not the big news. The big news is on Adam Wharton, and that is that he has withdrawn from England under-21 squad to deal with a groin injury, which has been bugging him since pre-season. I've kind of known this from the post-match press conference. If anyone's watched it, Glasner did mention it there that Adam Wharton will be staying at Palace, so it was kind of weird around that time because it wasn't officially announced that he's been withdrawn from the England squad. But what Glasner did mention in both his Palace and just a general press conference post-Chelsea is that Adam Wharton has had a problem with his groin that they need to manage. And you can tell even when you watch Adam Wharton, we spoke about in the player ratings and the match reaction as well, he doesn't look 100%, despite that he's still been performing. And the plan is for Adam Wharton this week alongside Mateta is that they will be having a week off, at least for this week. And then next week, there could be potential returning. But Patrick, first of all, why was Wharton called up to the England under-21 squad when he's good enough to be in the first squad? And second of all, it's good that, you know, we're not forcing, well, England are understanding and Wharton's understanding, we're not forcing him to play through this injury, which has been bugging him since the start of the season, well, pre-season.
Yeah, well, you know, England have a new manager, Lee Carsley. He knows a lot of under-21 players like Madueke and Gomez, so I understand why he brought up certain players. I got no problem with Wharton not being in 21s. This window now is for useless game. What is it? The National
League, yeah. National League.
Yeah.
Well, under-21s, I don't know what they're
right. We're in the England in the B League. Who cares? We're trying to get promoted. Imagine that, getting promoted back to the A League. These games mean nothing for far as I'm concerned, so I'm glad he gets the rest. 21's a good. He's only 20, so he actually should be on under 20 team. But I got no problem. Listen, Wharton was with England all summer, didn't play, but at least he was training with England. He needs a break. So, and I just love the fact that in the case of our management staff, they see that both Wharton and Mateta need the rest. Instead of saying, you know, blah blah blah, they're giving them the rest that they need. So I'm glad that they're both getting rested. I have no problem with that. For me, it's great.
Yeah. As I've mentioned, the plan is for this week is that players will be on individual training. Potentially, I believe, I'm 80% sure that Mitchell could be having a rest this week as well. Okay. So it could be Mitchell, Mateta, Wharton. I'm not too sure about any other players that's resting this week that's not training. And then the new boys, of course, Glasner will have a bit of time with them this week to be training alongside a few other players. I don't know if Rob Holding will be in that training session based on the post-match comments, but I doubt it. He's probably training with the under-21s. And then the following week, ahead of the Leicester game, players will be coming back. Thursday, it should be the Colombians. I don't know if Lerma's actually gone after that injury, but Munoz should be coming back. And Richards, did Richards get called up?
Richardson, how dare you? Richardson Turner, a first team player for USA.
Yeah. Richards
You got
Turner's,
jokes. You're funny. You're funny. Did
Richards,
you get called out?
Richards
You're
Turner's.
funny.
I believe that this should be coming back on Thursday as well. But yeah, this week everyone's resting. Everyone's pretty much not everyone's resting, but you know, we're taking it easy. It seems like, and we're managing the workload, which is important. At this stage. Animal saying, "I'm glad Mateta is getting a rest. Hopefully, he can come back supercharged." Exactly. That's what I was talking about. My ideal week last week for me was a 10 out of 10 week. It would have been an 11 out of 10 if we beat Chelsea, but how I visioned it is we started off the week beating Norwich, which we've done, and then afterwards we end the window strong, which we've done. We continued that momentum and that morale into the Chelsea game, got a point, and then now we've got a nice break to sort out individual problems, which we've been sorting out. So it's been more than ideal, and we deserve a rest. We deserve a rest after that start to the season where you can tell that the players are not 100% fit. Let's see how Gahey, etc., performs and how much they play for the England first team. Could it just be cover so it gets rest? What do you mean, Ron? Do you understand this question? Could it be? Oh, I understand it. So it's basically saying, is there no injury problem so you can get rest?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think we're pretty
I don't think
honest.
Lie. Why would he lie?
Yeah, there's no point in lying. Yeah. I mean, if he was fit, then if he needs a rest, then we would have said he needs a rest. So yeah, I don't think so, especially for England under 21 level. I don't think so. I just think you can tell from watching him. You can tell from watching him whether that's rest, whether that's an injury, but it doesn't look serious. And Glasner hasn't mentioned that it's anything serious. So it could be the case. Technically, it could be the case. I just realized something. Patrick, you should have told me. My camera's not even on. I'm using my laptop camera. There I am.
Your camera's on. Your head was a little high, but your camera was on. I mean, I could see you.
Yeah. Okay. I need to sort out the line. I didn't even realize. I'm in an international break mode right now, people.
Just to be clear, you're the host and producer. I'm just a contributor.
Yeah. I got half a screen that's cracked. I didn't realize because my face is covered right now. Yeah. So that's my excuse. And by the way, people, if you do have any questions, let us know by putting a Q and a dot before it. I'll pin this one, Alex, because I didn't mention it. But put a Q and a dot before it. It's easier to pin, and we'll answer them towards the end of the show. Also, Elise has been called up, which is good news. Should have been called up, in my opinion.
Wait. This is Palace news, not ex-Palace news.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Yeah, don't. Yeah,
this is Palace news. It is Palace news.
It's not.
I just mentioned Elise. Is he forbidden to be mentioned? Is he cursed or something?
No, he's a Bayern Munich player. Just
a side note. Elise has been called up. I mean, you talk about Wilf when the time is right. So it's just.
I don't. Only when you bring him up.
Yeah. And Mark Gay and Dean Henderson also checked in today for the international duty. Also, Steve Parish talking to Sky Sports.
I have a Lerma update.
What was that about Lerma? We'll go back to that.
He traveled to Barring. Okay, go ahead. Never mind. Okay, we'll get back. Go ahead.
Steve Parish just quickly says, I don't think the window worked out with the same format we thought it would. And maybe at the beginning, we thought it would be more likely Gahey went and we would keep Joa. Interesting comments from Parish saying that he expected Anderson to be staying and Gahey to be going. To be fair, I expected Gahey to be sold as well. So it's not quite wrong. But what's your thoughts on that, Patrick?
I'm glad it worked out the way it worked out. I'm really glad it worked out the way it worked out. I'm not, I'm glad that Anderson was sold. We made a big profit on him. We got a player in the quad who Glasner likes. We keep our captain. Yeah, we'll probably lose 20 million next year, 25. I'm not worried about next year. I'm looking at this season only. And to me, if you want to compare Gahey to Anderson, Gahey's a better player. So funny, life works out funny that way. Sometimes things work out for a reason. So we are at the injury at that time. So, yeah. So
I think it's worked out better as well. We kept the better defender. So there's no complaint from me. But we probably would have got more money, of course, if Gahey was to be sold. But yeah, I mean, that defense is very strong with Mark Gahey there. But I think Parish coming out, talking to Sky Sports and saying what we all think is quite interesting that he said that out publicly. But yeah, let's see what happens in the following season, especially with the likes of Gahey, etc., which will be interesting. Sorry, Patrick, I cut you off when you're talking about Lerma.
Yeah, I just got an update here from Beta Sport. Jefferson Lerma will travel to Barranquilla today after receiving clearance from the medical teams of Crystal Palace and the Colombian national team. He will train with the rest of the squad tomorrow after his tendon. I guess it's his tendon in his toe. Showed quick improvement. So he's off to Barranquilla. Hopefully he'll come back healthy.
So that's nothing serious then. We won't risk him.
Doesn't seem
going
that way. It
over
doesn't seem that way, yeah.
Yeah, Glasner did mention it in his press conference that he just came back to us and he had a toe injury. Like, we don't know what actually happened. So I don't know what he was doing, but thank God it's nothing serious, and hopefully he comes back fit as well, fit and ready. By the way, people, I am pinning your questions, so we'll be talking about it towards the end of the show. Spiritual saying best defense in the league. I agree. Well, no, I don't know, but that's just my mind speaking. That's honestly how my mind sees it. I think it's the best defense we've had ever on paper. Let's see on paper.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's see on paper. Anyways, on paper, let's see how they work out. Especially with Chalobah being, Chelsea fans saying he's one of their best offenders and he should have went out on loan. Adding Lacroix onto that as well. But yeah, I think Arsenal's defense is better right now, anyways, even system wise.
100%.
So yeah. But in terms of Palace, let's see. There is potential there and conversation to be had. But you can't tell right now. By the way, people, if you are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button and subscribe as well. As I've said at the start of the stream, I know a lot of you joined after. We will, in just a few minutes' time, be going around and looking at all the latest loan moves, what is going on with our youngsters, looking at Ozoh, looking at Raksaki and more, and how they're doing. Patrick's gathered all the data, so we'll be going through them each individually. And then afterwards, we'll be answering your questions as well. As I mentioned, we've spoke about Wharton, Lerma, and Parish. So that's the latest with the Palace news. Patrick, let's send it over to you. Let's start off with the goalies, Goodman and Whitworth. A lot of conversation has been had with both of them in terms of the penalty saves. Well, how have they been performing since going out on loan?
Yeah, quite well. Goodman is at AFC Wimbledon. Last week in the EFL Cup, they played Ipswich and he saved the penalty, so they went through. On Saturday, he had another clean sheet against Fleetwood Town, so he's off to a great start at AFC Wimbledon. We all know, obviously, last year he was at the same level. So hopefully, like I said, I'm looking for him to come back next year, honestly, and be one of the players that could hopefully be our backup keeper next season. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that, but I know you're not a big Matt Turner fan. So what do you think about possibly Goodman being a backup next season?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a battle between Whitworth and Goodman. Why do you think Goodman will be the backup over Whitworth right now?
Only reason I would say that because this is his second loan, and even though we'll get to Whitworth in a second, Whitworth has this is his first loan. So I think just from an experience standpoint, I think Goodman has a little bit more of a chance. Plus the fact that this is not a comment about being tall or short, but Goodman is a little bit taller than Whitworth.
Yeah.
So that might be a factor. So moving on to Joe Whitworth, he had a strong weekend for Exeter City. Also had his second clean sheet of the season. So both of them had 3 saves against Bolton. They won 2-0. So both of the goals off to a really good start as far as their loans, which is great. Go ahead.
There's been a lot of hype as well with both of them from the start of the season. Like every time you go on social media, you either see one of them saving a penalty, which my question has always been, why on earth are they saving so many penalties at the start of the season? What is going on with the defense of the team for them to be conceding that many penalties? I know Goodman had a penalty shootout with Ipswich, which at AFC Wimbledon, which they beat them, of course.
Right.
But yeah.
Honestly, they've been very good at it since academy level. If you go back and watch any of the old academy games, you would generally see Whitworth saving penalties, Goodman saving penalties at U18 level, even the back U15 Floodlit Cup. So they're both been, I don't know what it is, but they were just taught as the youngsters to be very good at anticipating. So they've both been good at penalty kicks for a very long time. So let's move on to your favorite, David Ozoh, Derby County. Scored his first goal Saturday. They beat Bristol City 3-0. I'm sure everyone has seen that goal
as well.
Man of the match. Took the ball halfway line, dribbled, took it, passed that wide, a shot deflected in the box, came to him and he shot it. So he's off to a great start. Derby, are playing really well. So it's a great loan. Again, championship level. The Derby fans seem to just love him. Don't want him to come back to Palace. But we all know this is exactly what we wanted for him. Go out on loan, perform well. Score goals, it's a bonus, but first special goal. But honestly, just to be out on loan at a championship level and playing well, all you can ask for from Ozoh. So that's
We
great
look
for
at
him.
we look at the championship, and of course, we found our gems in the championship. And these loan moves, we're going to be talking about Raksaki in a few minutes' time as well. When Ozoh did go to Derby, I spoke to Derby fan about the move, and I did say that I think he should be killing that league. I think he's got the physical ability. I think he's got the technical ability, and he should be performing at that league. And to me, it wouldn't surprise me. The suggestion it was from the Derby fan is, what would you do if Will Hughes, who's in his last year of his contract, I believe, if he runs out his contract and he goes to Derby and we send Ozoh back to you? And I thought, that's a realistic pathway for David Ozoh. We look at the championship and spend money on championship players, but I mean, we could be creating that championship beast in front of our eyes with David Ozoh if he continues performing as he does.
Well, I'll say right now, I think there's no doubt in my mind. There's a spot in our midfield next year with David Ozoh's name on it for sure. There's no reason why. There's no excuses. Still, he's gonna get the experience. You're right. There's obviously Hughes possibly leaving last year, Lerma possibly being sold and making a profit out of him, and then God knows, I don't want to say it, but obviously Wharton and Ducouré are gonna have lots of suitors for him. So there's no doubt next season he's a squad member, 100%.
Yeah, I thought for me, he might have a bit of a slow start. Maybe that was the only question that I had. Let's see how he adjusts. He's going to the championship. He's going to be playing at a new team, of course, and he might have a bit of time adjusting. But let's be honest, he hasn't had that from the minute he's gone in. He's been performing even better than expected at the start. For me, he was always going to perform at championship level. I expect him to. He's got the talent, and yeah, it's a good start from him. What about Jesner Raksaki?
First start for Sheffield United on Sunday. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the game properly because it was on the same time as the Palace game, but I did catch the highlights. It was on my TV. But he created the first goal. Should have had an assist, but unfortunately, it ended up being an own goal. But they ended up winning the game 1-0, Sheffield United, and that was his first start. But I've seen him come on as sub late in a couple of games. They beat Watford, and he's played really well. The only issue I have is that right now Sheffield United are 8th in the championship. Is that they have a player named Brooks who plays the same position as him. Young player, so it's either going to be like a squad thing, rotational, or maybe Jez will beat him out. But right now, again, Jez hasn't started a lot of games for Sheffield United, but he's played well when he's come on. Like I said, 3 matches so far, been very involved. He had a couple of shots on goal on Sunday also. So his loan, I think will work out, but right now he's not really playing a lot as much as we'd like probably.
Yeah. And Wilder has spoke about bringing in Jez to the football club. Apparently, there was a bid from the Championship as well as a Premier League club. Of course, that was Southampton. So he did say there was a lot of interest. So we've got a top player under our belts. But of course, we'll keep an eye out on Jez and Raksaki. Imre, who has been spoke about a lot before he did go out on loan to Bromley. In fact, he did shock me. The fact that he went out on loan to Bromley, I thought maybe at a high level. I know Bromley's playing at league level. But he's been performing well there. I've seen clips of him as well. I think he's got an assist and he's exciting. He's exciting from whoever I spoke to.
Yeah, Bromley's off to a good start. I mean, they're in it's the first season in League One. In League Two. He played 86 minutes on Saturday. Unfortunately, Bromley lost to Crew Alexander in the 91st minute, but he's off to a good start. He had an assist in an earlier win, and he's off to a good start. I think again that loan level was a little lower than probably you and I would have expected, D, but I think he's performing well, and I know for a fact the manager loves him because I've watched a couple of interviews about him, and every time they talk about Imre, they talk about how they love his energy, his ability to defend, his ability to attack. So right now it's been a good loan for Imre so far.
Yeah, it has been a good loan, and I expect it to be a good loan because I was talking about this player being a potential backup option to Munoz. So if he struggles at Bromley, then we would have all looked like fools. So that's good that he's been performing there. Let's talk about Ibue, which the dog says, Patrick, I'm warning you, don't speak bad about Malcolm. Has he been playing as much? From what I've gathered is that he really hasn't. I think he started the cup game, but
he's only had that one start. D started in the cup game for Oxford United and played. I'm just trying to check exactly how many minutes he played. He played 77 minutes against Coventry. They lost 1-0. Everything else, he's been off the bench. He's been on the bench. Sorry, for the championship games. Hasn't gotten a minute in the championship yet. He's only played again like in the 2 cup games. I'm not sure. I do like the manager at at Oxford United. I think he's a good manager. Des Buckingham, and they're off to a decent start. Oxford United actually are right behind. They are right behind Sheffield United. They're in 9th place. I'm just worried about Malcolm pushing through. He's got to have a loan similar to the way that Jez had at Charlton, obviously high level, because we can talk about Malcolm's loans, but they haven't worked out. He's been at Molenbeek, and it just abroad. He's been here in England. It just hasn't worked out. So hopefully, but again, he hasn't started a game yet besides the cup. So hopefully he'll find a way to get it. Listen, we talk about this. This is on Malcolm now. This is basically it for him. He has to do something in his loan. There can't be excuses about he's away in Europe or whatever. He has to find a way to break through. Because if Jez can do it, then Malcolm can do similar, in my opinion, anyway, as far as performing. So yeah.
Yeah, Spiritual saying always expected Imre to perform in League Two, and the Dark saying it's been hard. It has been hard for Malcolm, but as you said, Patrick, he does need to perform. Like,
has to.
You can't just have loan moves, and not cause an impact. So it's not. I mean, hopefully he does for his sake, but it's not really looking good at the start of it right now. Animal saying, I'm thinking Malcolm will go the same way as Teo. They don't make it here. It is looking difficult. For Malcolm, especially. I think Teo hasn't really had that many opportunities yet.
Teo's been injured, so I wouldn't put Malcolm and Teo in the same bracket. And again, even with Teo had a good loan at Molenbeek. They didn't do well; they were relegated. But Teo actually played a lot and did decently. Malcolm didn't even play at Molenbeek, so I wouldn't really want to put them on the same level. I think Teo's got a higher level as far as reaching than Malcolm does, in my opinion.
Yeah, now we're approaching, last few players. You can take the lead. Who do you want to talk about next?
Jack Wells Morrison, former captain of our under-18 team. He went to Wealdstone, which is a National League side. Came on second half in a 1-1 draw to Solihull Moors. Kind of a lower loan for him, but it's his first loan. He's only 20 years old. It's his first loan, away from Palace. So he's had some injury problem, which I think is why it didn't go out earlier on loan. So again, we'll see with him. But again, that's to me, like I said, we'll see how it goes. So very quickly, we also have out on loan, obviously, Ahamada didn't play this weekend. Obviously, Austin Edward didn't play this weekend. And last one that we have, the other two are up in Scotland. We have Killian Phillips and Malachi Boateng. I won't go on those guys too much because all three of those are loans option to buy, so they're not going to be coming back to pass, unfortunately. So hopefully they do well, and we get higher fees for them. So there's that. But D, can I just touch very quickly on the under-18s, under-21s this weekend? Can I watch the game? So under-18s this weekend, they beat Reading 3-0. They are now in 6th place in the under-18 Premier League, and goal scorers were defender George King and 2 for guess who?
Who?
Jesse Derry.
Yeah, of course.
Easy guess.
Easy guess.
Yeah, he's off to a flyer. That kid also got caught up in the under-18.
Yeah, under-18 for England, right?
Yeah, he just got caught up for them. Yeah. He's doing really well. And lastly, the under-21s, they drew 1-1 with Leeds away. That was the second match of the season. They are in 7th place. And the goal scorer was Hindolo Mustafa. Now, why did I mention him? Because he just got called up to the Sierra Leone first team. The kid is 18 years old. Actually, Hindolo is actually going to be. Let me double check something. Hindolo's actually just turned 18 in July 28th. Massive future team. I've talked to you about Asher Agbanoni, who I really like, but Asher's more of a winger. Hindolo's more of a number 10, attacking midfielder. Kind of like Ebbs more. He can play wide, but not. So he's got a big future. So, the fact that kid's 18 years old, hasn't even had a full debut for Palace's first team, and got caught up in Sierra Leone's national team is a very cool honor for him. So good for him. Good luck to him. So,
yeah. Shout out to him. Hopefully he does well over there as well. And that's good experience. Good experience. It's all about experience for these players right now, and going away to your national side, representing your national side at a young age. It must be, especially for the first team, not even at youth level, it must be something else, like in terms of pride. So that's great. I mean, we've gone through everything now: the loan, under 18s, under 21s. everything's sorted. Everything's sorted. But look, people, as I've said, we'll be doing this every Tuesday is the plan on Palace News episode. So even if there's no news, we'll jump on, speak about the latest with players out on loan and youth level as well. So if you do enjoy the content, we'll be here. We'll be here, especially now that the news has kind of died down. So, you know, it's worth giving our attention to the loan players right now. But that's for this international break when, content will be flowing normally next week. But still, despite that, we'll be talking about, with some of these loan moves. But thank you to Patrick and thank you to all of you that have sent in your questions. Let's go through the questions before we do wrap up. As always, if you are enjoying the content, hit the like button, subscribe to normally some future Palace content. As Adam was saying, this is great content, updating us on the youngsters. Shout out to Patrick. You will be watching them closely and we'll be going through all of them, as well as the first team such as Edward, who won't feature in the next episode because next week is going to be a bit difficult. I don't think we'll be doing this next week because players are
we can only update players that are on international duty on a youth.
Actually, some of them might. Do they still play at League One? League Two?
No. Because for instance, Bromley's playing right now, so are Exeter in the EFL Cup, so there'll be that. So a few of them we can update. A few.
But Edward we won't be talking about for a few weeks because he won't feature against Palace as well. So, and that's the next game. All right, then let's move on. Let's move on to the questions. Alex saying, any idea how Nketiah will be used? Now, we don't know. I don't think anyone knows. And the question is, does Glasner change the system, put two up front, or does he play as a number 10? I guess only time will tell. For me, the only thing I think about is whether he changes the system and how it will work is with the pressing. I think there won't be a problem with the pressing, in my opinion. Even then, it could. I don't know. I think changing the system, it sounds easy, putting two up front, but I don't know how it would work with how Glasner wants to approach games. I'll be honest. I don't know how it would work with having Eze essentially and two players up front. I don't know how that press will work. That's the thing I'm most curious about.
Okay. But I know for a fact Glasner is very flexible. He changed systems at in Germany when he had to, at Wolfsburg and at Eintracht, right? Yeah. When he had to, he's played 4 at the back, he's played 3 at the back. He can be pretty flexible. He's gone to a 4-2-3-1 before. It depends on the players. I think Nketiah, one of my strongest things I like about him is he actually is very good at pressing. I watched him play with Arsenal. He's got a lot of energy and stuff like that. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But again, it depends on whether he wants to play him out a little wide. And I heard someone say this morning, I was listening to a podcast, and he said, there's no reason why you can't have Nketiah, Mateta, and Eze and have like a triangle and rotate the three of them. Because they can, besides, I've seen Mateta go wide a little bit with Edward a couple of times, so it's not like a big deal. But again, it falls on the manager. I'm not worried about it. He'll have plenty.
I'm not worried about it. He'll fit in. He'll fit in. The question is where. We don't know yet. Let's wait for the Leicester game. We expect him to be playing there. And Eagle Eye Football saying, do you expect Lacroix and Chalobah to be in for Leicester? I reckon Lacroix will be, but Richards will keep his place. I don't know. It depends on how they perform in the next 2 weeks, but I'd expect. I wouldn't be surprised if they both come in. I wouldn't be. The reason for that is down the left-hand side, we have conceded goals there. I think that's an area of weakness. I think having either, let's see who Glasner uses, but all three of them have pace. So, it'll be, I don't know, but Richards also has pace as well. So it's difficult to say. What about you, Patrick? Do you think one of them comes in, both of them come in against Leicester?
No, I think Lacroix definitely. If Lacroix's fit, he definitely starts with Gay. I think Richards deserves to keep his place, especially at left.
But I'll say it again. Klein?
Pardon?
Why doesn't Klein?
Because Richards is a natural centre back and Klein isn't.
But then I think Klein has been performing good enough, or even maybe better than Richards.
Klein played 1 league game and 1 cup game, which has been in there the whole season. You asked me my opinion, so my opinion. I'm not saying,
What do you lot think in the chat? I don't know. I think if we're looking at it like that, if we're looking at performance, I don't know why one gets dropped than the other. Maybe Richards because he's taller, so his height might be better.
I'll say it again. I don't think Klein is in the squad to play as a centre back. He's in the squad to play as cover for Munoz. That's what I think. That's what he can't. Like I said, like last year with Lerma, he can play there, but it's not his natural position. I think he's better off. He's better suited because he's a natural right back. I'm not saying he's played poorly. I'm just saying my opinion. Now, again, Richards. Here's my only thing with Richards. Richards always gets hurt. He always gets injured. That's his biggest issue. So I can guarantee you, Chalobah's going to have no problem getting playing time here because there is absolutely no way. I love Chris Richards. He's playing more than 30 games a season. He's not. So I'm not worried about who plays where. The quad plays, Gahey plays, and the third position go anybody you want.
Well, Richards, he's joined the US men's national team, so it might even be a case of fatigue where Glasner says, "All right,
and there's that too,
and you might even play Chalobah." So there's different scenarios that could happen. But I think the one thing that is pretty much I'm certain about is at least one of them will be starting in this game. Let's see who that is. Leon's saying, will he be back after the international break? That's on Adam Wharton. Yes, he should be back after the international break. Glasner did mention that he'll be having a week off, so hopefully next week he should be coming back. But he should be ready for the Leicester game. Let's just say that he should be ready for the Leicester game. It doesn't seem anything serious. It's just more management and making sure thing doesn't aggravate. And I'm saying, how likely is it that Gahey signs a contract with a release clause? I guess now we've got a bit of time, Patrick, to be dealing with this. But how likely do you think it is? Because if he does, then he kind of loses that power that he could have next summer, where his price tag will be lower because it's a year left in his contract, and more bigger teams could come after him. For me, I think the way you sign Gahey to a new contract is after an international break, you go strong, and you show, that he could be a success at Palace, where he says, I'll be open to leaving to join the big side, but I'll also be happy to stay at Palace as well. I think it's a hard deal. I think we have to show him the ambition. We've kind of shown it in the market as well, in my opinion. But for you, is there any chance?
Well, first I'll say I don't think any of our players can say we didn't show ambition as far as not wanting to sign, because that's not fair, because I think we've shown ambition. So that's great.
I think I'm talking about in a league table form. If let's say we are, I don't know,
that's not ambition. That's performance. We got to perform now.
I mean, they're still showing ambition out by the performances. That's my point.
Well, for me, okay, I thought you meant so for me as a player, I want the management to show ambition with bringing in players to make us better. Then I go out there and
I think we've shown that ambition there. I'm talking about, let's say, we're having a strong season and we're flirting, up there rather than bottom half of the table. Maybe it might be a bit more open. It might be like, you know what, let's see what happens.
Gotcha. I think that should be our priority number one of all the players that we could possibly sign to an extension. I think Gahey should be number one for obvious reasons. He's got 2 years left. He's in his second year. He's running it down. A release clause would be great because then obviously we set the price, but he has control over that, whether he wants to leave. What I'll say again, Gahey showed no intent in wanting to leave, because if he wanted to leave, he could have gone to Newcastle. That's a fact. He knew they were interested. He could easily have left. He didn't show that. So I don't know if you ever give him a release clause. You don't necessarily have to do that because you can set your own price. But I make that my priority. So let's see what happens. Listen, I have a question for you. What players besides Gahey do you think we need to sign up? We need to get extensions for right now?
I don't even know.
Signed, right?
Mitchell, we don't need to. I saw a report yesterday. That's nonsense. I mean, he signed a 3-year contract. Why would we give Mitchell another contract when he signed a contract not too long ago? Is there any? Oh, Mateta,
right? He's been talking about one.
I wanted to be celebrating, right?
What you do, I don't matter. As long as he scores goals, I'm good. I don't care if he celebrates or not. That's to me.
You don't want to upset him, but I know all jokes aside, probably Mateta after. I mean, the priority after.
Not Eze, right? Because Eze's good, right? You think Eze's contract
is
right
signing a new deal, anyways. Eze's
right.
Okay. So yeah, I think so. But let's see what happens. Colin's saying, what would be your team to start against Leicester? Colin, we'll talk about that bit further down the line, even next week as well. Yeah. It's still early. Like we're just taking a little breather after the international break. It's a bit too early for that. Sim saying, why would you want Goodman or Whitworth to be a backup? Surely send them out on loan until they are ready to be first choice. Would be way better for development. The question is, Patrick, how much do you have to send them out on loan until they're ready? Because I mean, you can always send them out on loan.
Exactly, and I'm not sure. So my question to you, Sibs, is at what age do you think they'll be ready to be the first choice keeper? For me, Goodman's been out on loan 2 years. He's only 21, gonna be 22. I think that's a good age for keeper. Again, but keepers mature later. So I know Henderson, for instance, when Henderson went out tons of loans at Man United before he became the first team keeper at United. Then they bought a keeper and then sent him out to, I guess he went to Sheffield United, or was it Forest or wherever he went to, Henderson. But where did Henderson go? It was Sheffield United. I can't remember. Maybe that was it. What are we getting from? We're going for United, right? They've been alone for a long time. I'd want to keep him backup because a backup still gets to play. He can play in the cup games. He can play if a tired player gets fatigued. He can play if God forbid, make it into Europe. I mean, there's a good opportunity to play second choice. I mean, not a Palace, but I want a competent backup too. And I think Goodman and Whitworth are good. In the past, we've had keepers that, right? And even now, people are saying they don't want to see Wharton play. Well, if it was Goodman or Whitworth, I'd have no problem having them play. That kind of thing. That's why I wanted to stay, backup. So.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Animal has a question for you saying, with Mateta's packed schedule at the start of the season, will this break be effective or is it just papering over what may result in fatigue? Maybe didn't word that well. Do you understand what he's saying?
With Mateta's packed schedule at the start of the season, will this break be effective?
He's saying,
well, that first part, I think that he's definitely suffering from fatigue. I mean, clearly, like I said, he did get a break, but he went off actually, I saw the videos. He went off to Brazil to work out at the end of the season, which is wild, to train, which is great. And then he went to the Olympic. They had like a couple of, practice matches. Then he went to the Olympics. So he got like a 2-week break. So I think that this break can only help him for me. So yeah, I think that will be good when he comes back. And D left me. I guess I said something wrong. You're like, you know what it is? D's so anti-Mateta. When I talk about Mateta, he doesn't want to stay in the stream anymore. So, which is weird. But anyway, yeah. So I think that it's fatigue based, definitely. So
I'm back.
What happened? Mateta? You like Mateta talk? Anti-Mateta?
Yeah, technical issues. Let's continue and pretend that didn't even happen in the first place. Let's go to one of Jack's questions saying, if the groin injury got worse and Wharton was out for longer periods, should we recall him in January?
Talking about Ozoh, I'm guessing.
Yes, but Ozoh? I don't think
I wouldn't.
Anyways, right now, just managing him is not. I mean, if it was that serious, his injury, then he wouldn't be playing that many games. I think it's more like rest/injury, like something that's been minding him. So yeah,
and
I don't think we'll be. But then again, we got depth at midfield. I'm gonna say
we have. In midfield, maybe that position, a double pivot, is probably never been any stronger. Wharton, Decore, Lerma, Hughes. Come on, man, you can't ask for better than that. You can't.
Yeah, I don't think we'll call him back. I don't think we'll recall him back unless 3 or 4 injuries happen in midfield. Then maybe What is the issue with Rob Holding? Anyways, Glasner did talk about it in his press conference, and he did say, it's between him and Rob Holding, but he's not training with the first team. So yeah, God knows what's actually happened there. What about Benji Casey for the under-18s? What do you think?
Very good player. He's not going to be 17 until November. He scored 7 goals in 11 appearances last season, played for the 18s and 21s last year. He is probably our best striking option on the lower level, because I think the best option right now is Ola Adabomi. I didn't mention him, by the way. Sorry, he's playing in Beveren. I've got to mention him, by the way, in the thing. But anyway, we'll talk about him. Hasn't got a goal yet this year, so nothing much to talk about. But they're doing pretty well. But Benji Casey's he's a up and coming player. I like him a lot. He's not like Derry, who's more of a forward, wide player. He's right through the middle, number 9, and he's got a big future ahead. So I'll keep an eye on him for you guys. Let you know how he's doing. He's playing well so far this season.
Yeah. Last couple of questions. Colin saying any free agency would go for.
I know one.
Yeah.
This is from Eagle Eye Football. Rich texted me this morning. Rich said, "How about Alex Telles? You know him?"
Yeah, I
left
do,
back.
but
I don't. I'm just throwing it out there. That's the only one I know of. That's the left wing back or left back. So
he's exciting, but I don't know if he'll be willing to pay his wages or whatever.
I'm gonna say the same thing. I think wages is a problem.
He was at Saudi. I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know why he got released from Saudi. But yeah, potentially. But there isn't any other. Well, Brandon Williams has been mentioned, but there's a reason why he's a free agent.
Is he a free agent? Really? I didn't know that.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
He had them problems with the balloons and stuff like that.
Oh, the helium thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't exactly know what's going on there, but yeah, Alex said is a shout. I was going back to Brazil. So it's already so yeah. John Texas said that's not happening in Parish. That's not happening. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't even think about it. That's the funny thing. And we'll end up with Bashir's question saying, how long do you think that Wharton will be at Palace for? Because honestly, I can see him leaving in January. I don't see him leaving in January. He won't leave in January. I'm 99%
next summer
for that.
For me.
Next summer, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But all I know is he doesn't have a release clause from what we know. And he's not leaving for cheap. If you think Eze and Gay was a problem, then if you're trying to buy Adam Wharton, praise and thoughts to you. Praise and thoughts to you, because Palace will not let him go for cheap. I can guarantee you that. And on that note, people, we've been here 40 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. If you have enjoyed it, if you're just joining us now, go to the start of the show to get the latest of Palace. We got Adam Wharton, Parish, Lerma, as well as a loan roundup, plus answering the questions and more. If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. That's it from me and Patrick. And until next time, up the Palace.